Season of the Seraph is here, and with it we got a whole heap of new content to play. But is it actually all new, and how good is it really? And what is up guys, Inch from the Denman here, and today I want to share my first impressions of the brand new season and all of the content that launched alongside of it. We have a lot to talk about, so if you are excited, make sure you hit that like button and comment your thoughts on Season of the Seraph. With that being said, we have a lot to go over today, so get comfy, relax a little, and let's get right into the video. Starting off, let's take a look at the seasonal model and what we got in it. Probably the biggest activity is the 3-player match-made mode, Heist Battlegrounds. As of the recording of this video, we have 2 of them we can play through, with one of them on the moon and one on Europa. Both have their own little details that make them slightly different, but they share the same concept, and that will likely be the case with any additional ones we will be getting. I do enjoy them up to a certain extent. Like with most seasonal activities, they are fun for a week or two and then drop off drastically by the end of the season. In terms of seasonal match-made activities, I think this is one of the better ones, but surprisingly, I think that Catch Crash was better than Heist Battlegrounds, even though I don't think the season itself was better. So far though, ad density in the mode is very good and makes it more challenging than what you would expect. We do have a legend version of the mode, and even though I haven't played it yet, I hope that with such a big ad count, we don't see champions being such a big factor, even though we will definitely be seeing more than the regular version. I do like the additions of the submines, which is a deep tie to the lore of Destiny, and I hope that we finally get to see Charlemagne's vault on Mars, which would be the perfect time to display it. Altogether, I wasn't expecting much from Heist Battlegrounds, but was pleasantly surprised to see it being one of the better activities out there. Alongside Heist Battlegrounds, we will be getting a weekly story mission diving deeper into the Braytech facility to restore the Warmind Rasputin. Now from the trailer and what we got from the Bungie website, it does look like we'll be heading into space onto an orbital platform above the Earth, but we will just have to wait and see until then. The first week was very similar to a Heist Battleground in that we had to infiltrate a Warmind bunker. This will evolve over time and hopefully take us to different areas, including the orbital platform. We know that it is linked to the exotic pulse rifle Revision 0, with us having to travel into the facility each week. What is so unique about it is that once we discover the weapon itself, we will still have to find each of the catalysts for the weapon. This is new for Destiny, with Revision 0 getting 4 catalysts, which will definitely be interesting to see how each of them will change up the weapon. Overall, I'd say we have to wait to see how the weekly quest will evolve, but if we were to judge it on where it is now, there isn't much with it being very similar to the seasonal activity and of past content that we saw in Season of the Worthy. Both Heist Battlegrounds and Operation Seraph Shield share assets with the bunkers from Season of the Worthy, which honestly is a little weird that they can't create new areas, but since it is a mix of both new and recycled areas, I'm willing to look past this because it has been some of the better content we have seen. One thing that I can't look past is the seasonal vendor, because it has been the same grid we have seen for nearly 2 years now. We need a change, whether that be to the seasonal model itself or being how we acquire these upgrades. Something needs to change, because at this point, it is barely dragging by and is somewhat of a monotonous grind. I mean, if we were to see some changes each year, then it would be very different, but we don't. Each season we grind for the same upgrades with the same challenges, and something needs to change if we are going to continue this heading into Lightfall and beyond. I know, at this point both the season shipping with Lightfall and the one after that are likely completed, and we won't see anything substantial being changed there. But if we don't see something soon, it is going to be past the point where people are willing to come back to the game. Something that I have found enjoyable throughout the last year or so now is the story that Bungie has given us. Since Season of the Chosen all the way back in year 4, the story for the game has been some of the best we have seen. I'd say it is even better now as we get closer to the end of the Light and Dark saga, even if I think that the way the story is given to us could be done better. Each week we get little details about what is happening and is drip fed throughout the season. The only problem is that we do the same thing each week to get these story points, but I doubt we will be seeing some type of change to that anytime soon. Continuing on with talking about the story in this season, it is all about Rasputin and bringing him back to life. At this point, he is still inside the engram with many characters trying to help figure out how to bring him back. Even those that you wouldn't expect like Mara have shown up so far in this season. The main characters of the story though are Osiris, Anna, Clovis, and hopefully Rasputin eventually. Bringing Clovis back was a great choice, and he works well as the type of character who you know can't be trusted, but you need his help anyways. So far, Season of the Seraph story is one that I can enjoy, and I doubt that will change anytime soon with how great Bungie has done with their storytelling lately. What about the changes to PvP, specifically those to the competitive playlist? Well, in terms of the competitive side to the Crucible, it has been an enjoyable one so far. I have had some matches where one player leaves and it screws up the team's chances, but the games that everyone has stayed has been very good. I have come to find that in the games that I have played so far, it has been those in the Rift mode that people have been leaving. I don't know what it is about this game mode, but people leave it pretty early in the match and it hurts the overall experience of everyone else in the lobby. Especially in such a mode where team play is important and you are put at a heavy disadvantage when someone leaves and is only added by the 3v3 style of the competitive playlist. Personally, Rift is probably my least favorite of the 3 game modes, with Survival being still one of the better ones and Showdown being surprisingly good. I do have another problem with the competitive mode that just seems a little strange that it was implemented in the first place. I don't understand why they would make every other playlist be able to acquire the powerful engram of the week except for the freelance competitive mode. I know it's something small, but it's still a little weird that every other one can get the weekly pinnacle engram. This might just be a bug, or is it something intentional? But whatever the case, I think it needs to be addressed and fixed sooner rather than later. It doesn't exactly do anything to the solo experience, but it was a little annoying at times to see that I was still 0 out of 3 matches played when I was already done with my placement series. Last thing I want to talk about is the dungeon that launched alongside the season. I know that the dungeon isn't exactly a part of the Season of the Seraph, but I think that is still tied together with the experience itself. Dungeons in general are some of my favorite pieces of content, and Spire of the Watcher is no different. It brings with it a different feeling than that of Duality, which I do like, but in terms of where it stands compared to others, I still think that Duality and Grasp of Avarice were better. I like the idea of the ascent all the way to the top of the spire and then having to drop all the way down in a dash to save Rasputin. The 2 bosses were also somewhat good in their own way. What I enjoyed better compared to the Duality dungeon is that Keitel took too much time to set up, and if she somehow got to the bell before you could ring it or a bug happened, then you would have to do it all over again. Percy's, on the other hand, doesn't require as much setup, and with it more forgiving on its mechanics. The whole electrician idea is something different, and I did enjoy the fact that there was some jumping around you had to do to find the next circuit. In terms of where I stand with the Spire of the Watcher dungeon, I enjoyed my first run through, but I'm not sure how the replayability will be with it seemingly going to get stale really fast. Season of the Seraph has just come out, and even though it does have a lot of good things, it is brought down heavily by the seasonal model we have seen time and time again. Heist Battlegrounds is a good piece of content, but it is tethered to the seasonal vendor and the same design we have seen through other match-made activities. Like I said, something needs to change, and I know they already addressed this saying that they are looking into it. It doesn't change the fact that if we don't get something drastic soon, people will just continue to leave the game. Destiny 2 is in a tough situation, and Season of the Seraph doesn't make it any better, but it doesn't do anything wrong either. We will just have to wait and see how it all ages, but for now it is just the same thing we have been seeing for a while now and doesn't exactly innovate in any areas of the game. Lightfall is right around the corner, so hopefully we will see something that will bring people back, but as of now, Season of the Seraph will have to continue the journey into the Light and Dark saga. But that is all for me now though, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment any videos you want to see in the future, and I'll see you all next time.